This is Egyptian Gazette Radio.
Egyptian Gazette Radio latest news.
Politicians in Egypt offered conflicting views on Tuesday about whether the ruling military will reshuffle their cabinet before presidential elections due next month. The Freedom and Justice Party, the political arm of the Muslim Brotherhood, has been pressing the military junta to sack Prime Minister Kamal El-Ganzouri's government and task it with forming a new cabinet. On Sunday, the Brotherhood said Supreme Council of the Armed Forces Chief Field Marshal Hussein Tantawi had promised Parliament Speaker Saad El-Khatibni that he would carry out an imminent reshuffle. And the Islamist-dominated parliament decided to suspend its sessions until May 6 in protest at the military's refusal to sack the government. Italian police said on Tuesday they had intercepted 79 immigrants from Egypt and arrested 15 presumed people smugglers near the southern Sicilian port of Trapani. About 30 of the immigrants were traveling on a rubber dinghy and the others in a fishing vessel, a statement said. Some of them were suffering from hypothermia and were temporarily housed in a stadium. Judge Ahmed El Baroui of the West Cairo Prosecutor's Office announced on Monday that 6 protesters, including one Palestinian, are currently undergoing investigations by military prosecutors, following clashes that took place at the Ministry of Defense headquarters in Abbasiyah, Cairo. The detained protesters are between the ages of 18 and 47 and are currently being investigated regarding the clashes that have persisted for 3 days. The clashes have reportedly resulted in the death of 1 person and the injury of approximately 138 others. The death, yet to be verified, is reported to have been the result of live ammunition. The Muslim Brotherhood's Freedom and Justice Party, FJP, issued a statement on its official website, aquanweb.com, on Saturday regarding the ongoing diplomatic row that has led to the closure of Saudi Arabia's embassy in Cairo. The Freedom and Justice Party has called upon the Kingdom of Saudi Arabia to avoid increasing tension between Cairo and Riyadh and to reconsider its decision to shut its embassy in Cairo and consulates and recall its ambassador for consultations, the party declared.
The trial of former Oil Minister Sami Fahmy, who held his post under ousted President Hosni Mubarak, is to resume on Wednesday, after a one-day pause because of the May 1 Labor Day holiday. Fahmy is to be transferred to Mesra prison, located closer to Tor Hospital, because of his deteriorating health status. Ahmed El-Ghazavi, the Egyptian lawyer at the center of a diplomatic spat between Egypt and Saudi Arabia, has had charges against him of possessing illegal pharmaceutical drugs referred to a religious court, according to the London-based Al-Hayat newspaper Tuesday. He was arrested on April 18 and the verdict is normally delivered after 30 days. The United Nations has offered to help broker the return of Egyptian fugitives as well as assets that were spirited out of the country after last year's uprising. The global body is aware of the internal pressures the Egyptian government is under to recover assets, an official told Aram Online. "We are absolutely ready to mediate to help Egypt accelerate the efforts to recover its stolen assets," said Hussein Hassan, from the United Nations Office on Drugs and Crime, NEG. It's time for business talk. Egypt's Ministry of Finance will offer $2.5 billion, $413.5 million, in reopened bonds at an auction on May 7, the central bank said on Monday. It will offer $1.5 billion in 5-year bonds maturing on April 10, 2017, with a coupon of 16.55%, and $1 billion in 10-year bonds maturing on April 3, 2022, with a coupon of 17%, the bank said. Settlement for the bonds, which the central bank is selling on behalf of the ministry, is on May 8. Egypt's domestic money supply rose 6.7% in the year to the end of March, the country's central bank announced on Monday. Money supply was $1,054.7 billion, $174.4 BN, up from $1,050.1 billion at the end of February. The March 2011 figure was $988.1 billion. Iraq's crude oil exports rose to 2.508 million barrels per day, BPD, in April from 2.317 million BPD in March as new offshore export terminals helped increase sales, the head of the State Oil Marketing Organization, SEMO, said on Tuesday. Iraq aims to double oil output over the next 3 years as it recovers from decades of war and sanctions and is expected to provide the world's largest expansion in oil capacity in 2012 as new outlets open. The opening of 2 new floating single-point marine (SPM) terminals has eased export constraints and boosted oil exports significantly. South Sudan accused Sudan of launching an attack in an oil region of the newly independent state on Tuesday and said it was preparing to strike back, in another sign of the festering violence along the frontier. The scale of the fighting was not immediately clear. Weeks of border clashes have stoked fears that South Sudan and its northern neighbor could return to all-out war after failing to resolve wrangles over oil revenues, border demarcation and other issues since the South seceded last year. Philip Auger, spokesman for South Sudan's army, the SPLA, said Sudanese forces, militias and mercenaries attacked their positions in Hafra and the oil region of Unity State, where there have been a number of strikes in the past week. A suicide bomber killed several people including 2 lawmakers in an attack in the central Somali town of Hismareb, officials said Tuesday. The explosion hit a hotel in the town and it killed several people, said Mohammed Abdullahi Molim, a senior commander with the Al-Asnir Wal Jemma militia, which controls the area. 2 lawmakers were killed and 2 others wounded, witnesses said. Tzip Livni, the former head of Israel's biggest opposition party Kadma, resigned from parliament on Tuesday, a month after she lost a primary battle for leadership of her center-right faction. Speculation about Livni's political future swirled after she suffered defeat at the hands of her challenger Shoal Mifaz in elections held March 28. He won 61.7% of the vote, easily besting her. Her widely expected announcement came as Israel waits to hear the official date for general elections which are to be brought forward from October 2013 and could be held as early as August this year. Field Marshal Mohammed Hussein Tantawi has agreed to send a military aircraft to Mali to bring back a stranded delegation of Ahly football players. The team are trapped in Mali following a military coup in the capital Bamako on Monday night. The team had been visiting the West African nation, which has been facing violence and instability since an initial coup in March, to play their African Champions League clash against Stade Malien last Sunday. Egypt Premier League club Wydad Degla have renewed their interest in signing Egypt and Ismaili striker Ahmed Ali, Egyptian news agency MENA revealed on Monday. The Dervishes officials previously rejected Degla's offer to get the player's services in the winter transfer window last January. Belgian side Lierse, owned by Egyptian businessman Meg Sami who also owns Wydad Degla, tried recently to land the Pharaohs striker, but the offer was denied by Ismaili. Zamalek's football delegation was warmly received by fans at Cairo International Airport on Sunday night when it arrived from Morocco after beating Maghreb Fez 2-0 in the first leg of the CAF Champions League Round 16 on Saturday. The 34th annual Egyptian National Arts Exhibition was inaugurated on Sunday by Minister of Culture Sheikh Abdel Hamid at the Cairo Opera House premises. Under the title Freedom of Creativity, this year's National Arts Exhibition includes over 1,000 different artworks submitted by the 700 participants in all fields of art, namely painting, photography, graphics, sculpture, calligraphy, and video art. To mark the passing of Egyptian director El Sayed Radi 3 years ago, Al Hanajar Theatre will host an artistic evening tonight, Monday, April 30th, announced Mohammed Ali, head of the National Center for Theatre. The evening will include a ceremonial exhibition of the late Radi's belongings, as well as a documentary about his life and career. Walid Seif, president of the 28th Alexandria Mediterranean Film Festival, has announced that a jury will begin choosing participating films next month. Actress Monica Bellucci will be honored at this year's festival, and her film, Malina, will be screened at the event. The Italian film Caesar Must Die by Paolo and Vittorio Viani, winner of this year's Golden Bear at the Berlin Film Festival, will also be shown. Poet Gamal El Cassis and artist Mohamed Ebla meet for the first time in one work in El Cassis' newly released poetry book Niza Ashorafat, Women of the Balkanies, from Alain Publishing House. Ebla, 59, who is known for his reluctance to put his paintings on book covers, painted something specifically for the poetry collection, making it his first cover ever in his long, renowned career. The German state, which owns the rights to Adolf Hitler's manifesto Mein Kampf, said Tuesday it would release an annotated version 70 years after the Nazi dictator's suicide. After winning a court battle last month against a British publisher who planned to publish parts of the anti-Semitic book alongside commentary from historians, Bavaria said it would put out its own edition by 2015. Unlike most book signings in Egypt, a large crowd of eager fans turned up to see the actor, and now writer, Ahmed Hilmi of Shuruk Bookshop in Zamalek. Hilmi was there to discuss his new book, 28 Letters, which includes articles he wrote for Al Shuruk and Al Doster Egyptian daily newspapers. The latest news editor Hani Salahuddin